Hello everybody, and welcome back to SheffPlays. And today we're stepping away from Call of Duty again to talk about something else. And in today's video we're talking about the Separate Ways story in Resident Evil 4 Remake. This is awesome. Now, I haven't beat it yet. I'm about halfway through-ish, I think. Because there's 7 chapters total, and I'm about 10-15 minutes into chapter 4. So I feel like I'm decently far in. It doesn't take super long. I have like 2 hours of playtime. But yeah, we're going to talk about this a little bit because it's pretty dope. I did cut out any cutscenes that happened, or a decent amount of the vocals that happened, just because I didn't want to spoil anything for those who haven't gotten their hands on it yet. But yeah, without further ado, let's talk about this a little bit. First off, Ada controls almost identical to Leon with just some add-ons. Mainly her grappling hook. The weapons are different, but they all control the same. They're not entirely different though, actually. There's some returning, like the TMP, the Red 9 later on. The Punisher is in there. I didn't use that. The Blacktail is the same starting pistol. And they're all the same system. You know, you find the merchant, talk to him, and you can upgrade your stuff. And then he still has side missions for Ada as well that you can do for Spinals to spend on maps, keys, gems, whatever. I don't think I've seen any yellow herbs in there. You can find them around the world because you can still extend her life. I've used a couple of them. Now, difficulty-wise, I always play through on the easiest difficulty first, more of a story thing. But I definitely see myself pouring a decent amount of time back into this game again just to get everything, because although she has some of the same unlockable hats and stuff, you can't just equip the ones you've already unlocked from like Leon's story on her. You do have to unlock them separately through separate ways, and the game straight up tells you that in a message when you boot it up. But that's okay, because it gives more replayability to this game than it already actually had. The grappling hook is awesome. You can use it not anywhere. It's not as like often as you'd think. It's not as often as I thought, but it's still a decent amount. Like, there's sometimes in combat, if you shoot an enemy from too far away and you want to melee them, she'll like grapple to them and roundhouse them. Some roofs, some higher ledges, and then I've actually found a couple treasures that almost completely got by me because they were only accessible with the grappling hook, like the spot they were in. And it's not always super obvious, but I think that's why it's fun to use, is because it makes you have to think a little more with like the puzzle side of the brain for Resident Evil. Returning characters is, I've seen Leon about 3 times. Haven't really interacted with him yet. Luis, clearly. This is the 2nd time you're with him so far in this, and he's a huge part of this, and I won't say it, but like I think it's going to start to unravel a little bit more of his character story. This is another thing that's super big on returning, is item management. And I know that they drop more stuff on assisted and whatever, but it's super crucial here. Like, a lot of the stuff that she has takes up so much space. Like that shotgun you find pretty early, you find the sniper pretty early, the SRS. That crossbow takes up a weird amount of space. It's one of the ones that's 3 down and however many across. And the ones that are 3 down always bug me, like especially with some of the bigger knives in this game. Which, her knife too is called the Carver, and that thing is like a straight up machete. And it is so cool. But yeah, it's such a solid DLC so far. And the return of Wesker, should have said spoiler alert, but I didn't. He's returning, and it didn't shock me to put together that before this game even came out, the guy who voice acts him for this dropped concept art for how his character was going to look, and it is spot on. Like, I completely forgot about that until I saw him in a cutscene, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this Wesker design before. And yeah, no, it's the same one. And he looks awesome as ever, sounds brooding as ever. He very much is the same old Wesker. Like, he's got his goal in mind, and he could really care about the safety or the happenings of anyone else as long as the job he wants done gets done. And that's pretty much what the main basis of this DLC is you're looking for the amber. If you've played the game, you know exactly what that is, or have an idea of it at least. And Luis is supposed to be helping you do it, but he's kind of lollygagging. But yeah, gameplay wise, it's super nice. It plays and looks exactly like the rest of the game. I've already seen someone complain about that, but it's literally the same game, so it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, I don't think they were gonna upgrade the graphics just for the DLC. It just, I don't know, it would be kind of a silly move. And there's really not much they could do. I mean, the game looks beautiful as it is. It's not supposed to be like vibrant and colorful and shade everywhere. It's dark. It's like tone and visually supposed to be that dark. But either way, this is a ton of fun, and I'm like steadily making my way through it. Definitely going to be playing through it to unlock all of her accessories and whatnot. And she unlocks challenges too that you have to do like you did with the base game, and a lot of them are pretty much the same. Like, beat this chapter on a certain difficulty, beat separate ways without talking to the merchant, beat separate ways without healing, do certain things in certain missions, and then some hidden ones that I'm sure I'll figure it out or look up. But yeah, it's awesome, and I definitely recommend it. And it's not as pricey as I thought. It's only 10. I thought they were for sure gonna do like 20, or like maybe push 25 for it. But it's definitely worth it. It's a ton of fun, and if you want to play Resident Evil 4, but like you really just don't want to replay the game again, this is definitely a solid way to go. And there's 2 unlockable weapons, and it doesn't show you what they are. And I tried to look in the challenges, because I remember for the original game you can find it like that, but you can't. So I hope you enjoyed. Hope you're having a good day. If you're watching early on, have a good rest of your day. See you in the next one. Until then, keep surviving. And yeah, again, I cannot recommend this one enough. This thing is a blast. See ya.